How is it that one specific group in society gets special protections? How is it that regular people who are just standing up for their right to free speech can be labelled as Nazis and fascists by Islamists and the left? Yet when a Muslim man spits in a baby's face and then says white people shouldn't breed, all he gets is a slap on the wrist and access to psychiatric treatment. Well, you answer that for me. Islamopologism is one of the greatest threats facing Western democracy today. In this video, I'm going to cover briefly some troublesome events that have happened in both Canada and my country, the United Kingdom. Two countries that share a deep history. Two Western liberal democracies that, up until this point, have been operating quite alright. But one similarity these two countries have is cancerous. Their excuse-making and apologism for Islam is absolutely deplorable. But let's start our magical journey in Canada. Yes, Canada. That country that really takes the biscuit in regressive leftist bullshit. What's been happening in Canada lately? A little thing called Motion 103, put forward by Liberal politician Iqra Khalid. What is Motion 103? Well, let's dive in. Text of the motion. That, in the opinion of the House, the government should A. recognise the need to quell the increasing public climate of hate and fear. B. condemn Islamophobia and all forms of systemic racism and religious discrimination, and take note of House of Commons petition E411 and the issues raised by it. Further down, here we are. Develop a whole-of-government approach to reducing or eliminating systemic racism and religious discrimination, including Islamophobia in Canada, while ensuring a community-centred focus with a holistic response through evidence-based policy making. So that's Motion 103. Essentially, they want to stop Islamophobia. But that raises one very important question, doesn't it? What is Islamophobia? What are the parameters of Islamophobia? What do I have to say or do to be considered Islamophobic? And what sort of punishment will be in line for me if I am deemed of being so? All of these questions are conveniently left unanswered. Because at the end of the day, nobody knows what Islamophobia is. Is Islamophobia strictly bigotry and prejudice against Muslims as people, just because they're Muslim? Or is Islamophobia more broadly defined as criticism of the doctrine of Islam or any sort of religious criticism? Can I criticise the Prophet Muhammad? Even if I don't do it in a religious sense, can I just criticise him as, say, a historical figure, if he did exist, for example? If Muhammad actually existed, could I perhaps criticise what he did during his life? Could I criticise the fact that he was a murdering warlord? How he took multiple wives, including child brides? Can I condemn his policy of allowing his soldiers to rape female captives? Or would all of that be Islamophobic? You see, because if we're led to believe that Muhammad was a historical man, that he actually existed, then why am I not allowed to criticise him in the same way that I would, for example, Henry VIII? He didn't treat women very well after all either, but I'm sure I'm allowed to criticise him until the fucking cows come home. What is Islamophobia? The origin of the word Islamophobia is still unclear. There are rumours that the Muslim Brotherhood came up with it as a way to suppress genuine criticism of Islam. They saw the way left-wing activists in the United States particularly were using buzzwords such as xenophobia and homophobia to shut down opposition of legitimate criticisms of social movements, and they decided to jump in on the act, get a piece of that sweet oppression pie. Others claim that the word Islamophobia was invented by other people, but it's not really confirmed either way. What is confirmed is the fact that the word Islamophobia in modern times is used to do exactly that. Shut down legitimate criticism of Islam and all the things that come along with it, including mass immigration, and is used as a stick to beat people into submission so they feel ashamed of sticking up for their own culture, and especially freedom of speech. But Motion 103, just in the way it's written, just in its language, highlights the word Islamophobia and separates it from the rest. It's given a special platform. They could have just said, we condemn all kinds of religious prejudice, but they didn't. They separated the word Islamophobia. They singled it out. It's special. It doesn't have to be said, but this is very, very dangerous, and people in Canada know this, or at least the smart ones do. But let's get back to Iqra Khalid, the Liberal politician who put forward this motion in the first place, because she is in fact, surprise surprise, herself a Muslim. And judging by some of the organisations she's been affiliated with in the past, it's only right to question her motive with this. Iqra Khalid was the president of the Muslim Student Association when she was a student at York University, early 2000s. The Muslim Student Association was founded by adherents of the Muslim Brotherhood in 1963. Well, fancy that. The Muslim Student Association has a series of alumni who have become suicide bombers, ISIS fighters and ISIS propagandists. The Muslim Student Association at York University handed out a book at Islam Awareness Week. Islam Awareness Week. Wow, think of that. With the title, Women in Islam and Refutation of Some Common Misconceptions. Sounds interesting. The chapter on wife disciplining, page 99 of the online version, makes the following observation. Submissive or subdued women. These women may even enjoy being beaten at times as a sign of love and concern. This is an organisation that Iqra Khalid was a member of. Now, am I saying that Miss Khalid agrees with these views? No. But will she disavow? That's the question. Will she disavow? Or, in this new world of fighting Islamophobia, are these things supposed to be accepted as normal and good? In this tolerant, progressive world that we find ourselves in, should we just accept that some cultures enjoy beating women? And that the women may even enjoy it too? Unsurprisingly, Motion 103 has inspired protests from both sides. People have been going to the streets to either vent their frustrations or attack people who are venting their frustrations. Here are a few Antifa members beating down a Canadian who simply wanted to express his free speech and oppose Motion 103. Here are some total idiotic lunatics with a smash fascism sign. I don't know if the irony escapes these people, it must do, but actually telling people what they can and can't say is fascism. So yeah, next time, instead of bringing a shitty sign along that it looks like you've written in your own blood, maybe bring along a mirror and hold it up against your own ugly face. Here's a pair of cucks right here. I love the diversity is our strength sign. That seems to be the mantra of our globalist societies these days. Diversity is our strength. Diversity is our strength. How and why? Answer me those two questions. How is diversity our strength? Why is diversity our strength? Nobody's answered those questions yet. And I especially love this one. The anti-Islamophobia people, of course, are holding a communist flag up. And I take special issue with these idiots, because as someone who's currently in a relationship with someone from a post-communist nation, some of the stories I've heard about when that nation was under communism are pretty damn horrific. And the fact that these spoiled little bitches actually think that communism is a desirable system for Canada makes me sick. It infuriates me. These fucking morons have no idea how good they've got it. Oh look, one of them's about to do a speech. Let's listen in for a little while, shall we? Not too long though, not too long. I don't want to have to slit my own wrists.
We must recognize that as we gather here today to do anti-racist work, colonial violence is ongoing and we are on stolen land. Shame!
A few citations needed, young lady. First of all, I take issue with your statement that you're there to do anti-racist work. Let me let you in on a little secret here. Islam isn't a race. There, I said it. I let the genie out the bloody bottle. Islam isn't a race, so your claim of anti-racism is nonsense. Second, colonial violence is still going on. Really, evidence required for that, thank you. Thirdly, you're on stolen land? Well, get off it then, if you care that much about it. Lead by example and leave. How about, oh, you're not going to do that? Oh, okay then, so I guess you're contributing to that land continuing to be stolen. I guess you're oppressing the original landowners, huh? Honestly, these people, they're so fucking dense.
No Islamophobia!
No Islamophobia!
No white supremacy!
No white supremacy!
No fascism!
No fascism!
Woo!
No Islamophobia. Right, well, if you would define what Islamophobia is, then we can have a conversation about that. No white supremacy. Who's the white supremacist here? Which political party in Canada is actively pushing for white supremacy? How many supporters do they have? How popular are they? There's no one. This white supremacy myth exists only in your head. No fascism. You are the fascists. You are the fascists. Get a grip. Motion 103 is designed to do one thing, and that's to restrict freedom of speech, especially when it comes to criticising Islam. Canada is so cucked. Its government is the physical manifestation of Tumblr. That's what they are. Justin Trudeau is a total bellend. He's a retard. They're obsessed with virtue signalling. They're obsessed with preaching to these leftist morons. Anyone who speaks up about Motion 103 in Canada is labelled as a racist, as a Nazi, as an Islamophobe, but we still don't know what that is. Canada is on a total downward spiral. I read the news about Canada, and every day, you know, in cartoons when a character's jaw literally drops to the floor, that's what I feel like when I read about modern Canada. That's the end of part 1. In part 2 we'll be leaving Canada and coming to my country, the United Kingdom, because we're not doing too well on this issue either. Remember the baby spitter I mentioned at the beginning of this video? Yeah, we're gonna get into that shit. Look for that video to be uploaded tomorrow or even later today, who knows. So stay tuned, please like this video, share it around and subscribe to this channel. We're doing very well. Thank you very much for watching.